I think this just enables you to act like a psychopath.
But I am a psychopath. Oh, DNR with you, 880 ESPN. This is Rocky 3?
This is Apollo.
Or 4? 3.
This is when he gets...
Yeah, this is when Apollo dies.
When he gets Drago.
He dies in 3.
If he dies, he dies.
If he dies,
he dies.
He dies. Maybe it's not 3.
I swear they made Ohtani in the lab. I'm telling you right now.
He's unbelievable.
What's the size of him? Have you ever seen him? Have you watched him play?
No, but I know he's like 6'5".
But it's just the size, man. He's
a freakish athlete. What do you say we get into the Giants?
I think we should.
I think so, too.
Any hot takes you got? Spice this thing up a little bit after your double nook?
Fire everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody. I want Shane gone. I want Daboll gone. I want them all gone.
Maybe they sell.
Sell the.
Would you
want
like
the
that?
No. Now you're.
Well, why don't you really spice it up?
Now you've gone crazy.
Why don't you really spice it up?
Here's the thing. I can't.
I'd Google that.
That's Googleable. Mara sells Giants. Rothenberg says.
Yes.
Right? I can't do it anymore. I can't deal with this anymore.
Well, let's play a game.
I don't want to play a game.
I want to play a game.
All right.
I think it's going to be a nice exercise. Okay? You be Joe Shane. I'll be John Mara.
All right.
Sell to me how you're headed in the right direction.
Okay. John, it's great to see you. I mean, I see you around the facility all the time. And it's such a pleasure.
I just drop in the office sometimes.
I love sharing workspace and the WeWork thing that we have going on. It's
really nice.
It's great. How you doing?
I'm doing really good.
Good.
I would be better if we weren't 2-8.
So here's the great thing about being 2-8 that you might not really understand.
Tell me.
Let me explain to you. You're a football lifer, right, John?
Love it.
Yeah. Being 2-8 is a blessing. Because when you win 6 games, Mr. Mara, you're in no man's land. You've heard of the phrase no man's land? That's where you are. You're not going to get... Last year, we couldn't get the quarterback. How does Jaden Daniels look, Mr. Mara?
It looks great.
How does Drake May look?
Looks really good.
Okay. We couldn't get those guys because we didn't have that level of pick. Being 3-14, as distasteful and unsettling as it is, in the long term, is going to be better for us because we're going to wind up with, did you see this Jalen Milroe? Unbelievable. Or any of these other elite quarterback, Cam Ward, or whoever we choose, we're going to have our pick of the litter. Oh, Mr. Mayor, by the way, we have a lot of money under the cap. Daniel Jones, we tried everything we could. He's just not very good. We're going to move on from him. So I think it's pretty obvious that in the short term, this is very bad. In the long term, this is going to be very good.
But we spent money this offseason.
Yeah.
And we moved off of Saquon Barkley like you wanted.
Right.
And we're 2-8.
Right, but if you look at Saquon and you look at what Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy provided, they're comparable. It's apples to apples.
We just lost to Carolina.
Right, but we would have lost to Carolina if we had Saquon. Tyrone Tracy ripped off a 35-yard touchdown run in that game. But we lost that game because Daniel Jones was so bad and the defense couldn't shut down the running game. And Brian Burns is banged up and Kayvon Thibodeau couldn't even play in that game.
Why did you give Daniel Jones an extension then?
You made me. That's why you made me.
How dare you?
You told me I'm out if I don't give him that extension.
Why would I believe that you and Brian Daboll are the right people to develop Jalen Milroe? We have the worst. Our offense is terrible.
Yeah, but
offense stinks. Did you see the picket fence that we ran?
Yeah, no, it was a bad play. I can't defend Brian for that, but it was an isolated incident. It was a bad play. Would you say for the most part in his tenure here that Daniel Jones has been a bad quarterback, sir?
He won us a playoff game.
Right. And he won us a playoff game with who coaching him? The best he's ever looked was with Brian Daboll, and there's nothing more that Brian can do now. Brian washes his hands of him. He can't defend him anymore. He's just not a good quarterback.
But we're getting worse, not better, though.
Right, we're getting worse because he's getting worse.
This is all Daniel Jones, you think?
Right. Yes, you hit the nail right on the head.
Okay.
It's all him.
You make some good points. I'm going to have to consider it.
Okay.
Bill is John.
And I leave like, I feel like I just really...
I want you and your young girlfriend as to run this thing. Let's go.
I feel like I did some great work there. So, I mean, listen, that's the take. Whether it's going to be hard to compete with Bill Belichick.
Well, but it's also, I mean, it's tough to sell the last couple of years. I mean, it is.
I don't argue with you.
Like, I don't know if Joe Shane is good or not. I know that from what I've seen and what he set out to accomplish this offseason, it felt like early on he had done that. Offensive line looked better. We actually, I mean, you'd watch games like, wow, Daniel Jones actually has time to throw the football.
Correct.
And you led the league in sacks. And those are the two main takeaways from outside of the Saquon Barkley stuff. The two main takeaways from Hard Knocks for the Giants were we want to protect the quarterback and we want to get after the other team's quarterback.
Right.
And they were doing both of those
Andrew
things.
Thomas getting hurt derailed that.
Right, but that speaks to also some of the negatives that go along with Joe Shane. The drafts, Evan Neal being a bust.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Josh Azudu, like that was
If you sat here and told me Daboll's gone, Shane's gone, am I going to cry over it? No, I'm not. I don't think that these are must-have. I don't think either. I think if you told me they're going to be back, okay, I can deal with that. If you told me they're gone, I can deal with that. I don't feel definitive anyway, but I will say that I am uninspired at some of the stuff that Brian Daboll has done lately. I think he has not done a good job with this team this
especially
season.
now that he's taken over play calling. Like that was, I think that was a big bugaboo for both of us, for RJ. Like, okay, at a certain point, this is why you got the job, was because of your ability to develop quarterbacks and also call plays. So if you're not unhappy last year where you're like, that's a negative for me too, is the lack of communication kind of flying off the handle. Like there doesn't seem to be like any real plan. It's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to take the play calling and I'm going to give it to the quarterback coach. Well, he stinks. I'm going to give it back to Kafka. No, he's still not good. I'm going to take it myself. And it was like kind of like, well, last year we spent time going, well, who's actually calling plays right now?
Right.
Like that's not a good thing either.
And now this is the guy that everyone is fighting for and wants. And let's be fair, it's not good. It's a real problem.
No, it's a real problem, and the offense stinks. I just don't know because I couldn't tell you. Like I could watch all the tape and the all 22 and everything else. But as far as like what the exact play call is, where guys are supposed to be, I see enough to tell me like there are plays being called that work, that have guys wide open, and Daniel Jones isn't delivering the football. Like you saw it. Like you can criticize the call. Why would you throw a flea flicker on 3rd and 1? Just pick up the first down. Well, because it worked. Like,
right.
It
correct. If he makes one of the two simple throws that are wide open.
But even worse, though, it's like, I'm going to call this. If we don't get it, maybe we can go, it's 4th and 1.
I think you're going to go, and now he takes a sack.
Now
you're screwed.
Now we're screwed.
Right.
Or it's like, we have the benefit of we take a deep shot. Doesn't work when we get a pass interference. That's a 43-yard penalty. Now we're rolling. Malik Neighbors convert 3rd down.
Wide open.
And it's not even close.
And the only team in the NFL that a 55-yard field goal, that's not even a thought. I got Fairbairn and Moody and got 55, 57, Tucker and Butker and everybody, Giant 55. No, we can't even consider that.
Yeah, so but I see both sides of this thing.
And so do I.
Your fear is that you move off of Brian Daboll and he ends up being a great head coach. Now, I could also tell you this, that maybe the reason why Brian Daboll, if you do move off of him, is eventually a great head coach is because he learned from his mistakes the first time around. Mm-hmm. Just like I think Todd Bowles probably learned from his first time around.
He's doing a pretty good job in Tampa
right now. Goes down, defensive coordinator, gets to see what it looks like with Bruce Arians, and now actually looks like he's a good head coach. Like, can you afford to wait another 2 years to find that out?
Again, I'm so torn. I do not know. Robert Saleh was not good.
Robert Saleh is a good defensive coordinator. I don't think Robert Saleh is a good head coach.
I knew before Woody Johnson knew that Robert Saleh was not good. I really don't know. I truly don't. I'm not kicking this down the road to be a pain in the butt. I don't know that Brian Daboll is a bad head coach.
I would say this, okay? I would say if you're able to put the wins and losses to the side, have you seen enough from Brian Daboll over the last couple of years to make you believe that the culture being built in that building is a winning culture? Or have you seen enough to say, you know what, maybe he also is in that group of guys that's a really good offensive coordinator.
You got to tell me too,
but not a great.
What am I? I'm only
CEO.
As strong as my options. What are my options?
Well, I think Bill Belichick is probably.
Is it a real option? Mel joined us before and said that Bill to Dallas is the answer.
Yeah, that makes sense just because of how much talent they have, and you know what Bill's trying to do. Like Bill's trying to win as many games as possible.
Yeah, he wants the record.
But I also understand, like if you're Bill Belichick and you started off your NFL career with the Giants, won two Super Bowls as the defensive coordinator for the Giants.
He holds a special place in his heart for the Giants.
Right, but what better way to end your career?
Then go back and finish it.
Bookend it with,
or lead the Giants back to relevancy,
or just
and then handing it off.
Right,
yes,
setting themselves up for the future. Like what you could that's a nice piece to add to your legacy.
You know what's big though too, and we don't talk about this a lot. So Brady leaves Belichick, wins the whole thing. Belichick is looked down upon since Brady's left.
Yeah,
right. You would agree with that?
Well, I think most people have now swung to it's Brady, not Belichick.
Correct. Now, if Bill can go wherever it is that he goes and succeed, now he goes back up in the public eye. This is a really huge decision. What's next for him? Huge.
It's a huge decision for him. I mean, he's got that. He's also got, He's trying to pass Shula. Like, there's a lot of things that he's trying to do.
Correct.
How much longer does he want to do it? It seems like he's kind of been reinvigorated by the time off and the young girlfriend, so maybe he's got some more energy to do it.
But he's, 73? How much time could he possibly have? Like, you talk about, you read these coaches, they're sleeping in their office and working 100 hours.
He is, though.
I get that, but at some point, the same way Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback, you get to 40 and you don't have a lot left.
That's different, though.
Why?
Because the mind is different than the body.
I get it, but at some point, he doesn't have 5 years of coaching.
No, but like I'm telling you right now, in my mind, I could go out. Like, I'm still sharp enough where I feel like I could, like, my reflexes and stuff would still be good enough to play. My body doesn't do it.
It's hard.
Like, the decline is much faster with the actual athlete.
Oh, of course, I get that.
Like, Aaron can still, like, in his mind, process information and do all the same things, but he can't extend plays and do stuff like that like he used to.
He's not capable of doing that anymore.
No,
I get
so
that.
I mean, say 3, 5 years.
5's a lot, though.
Well, I mean, okay, let's say 3.
I mean, do coaches coach at 78 years old? It's kind of unheard of, right?
Coach is Bill Belichick.
He's one of a kind.
So
you're right about that.
One of the greatest.
So
I'm sure Nick Saban, if you have to deal with all the portal, and all that
you tell me now,
probably sticks around.
Joe Shane, Bill Belichick, Joe Shane, Brian Daboll.
I don't know if Joe Shane sticks around if Bill Belichick is the coach.
But do I want Bill Belichick as my GM? I would say probably not.
No, but I mean, you probably want someone that Bill Belichick has worked with.
Okay, I get around that.
I don't know if, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Giants need to clean house. Like, they absolutely have to clean house. But I can't make the argument that they absolutely have to keep Joe Shane and Brian Daboll either. I can't.
So you're in no man's land.
Yeah, because I don't know. Like, I don't know how much blame to put. Like, if we had a pie chart of blame, I don't know how much blame to put on Brian Daboll for the offense, Daniel Jones on the offense.
I like that pie chart of blame. All right, so let me ask
you.
Joe
Shane for the players that he gave him.
Pie chart of blame. Jones, Shane, Daboll. RJ, I know you don't listen often, and Raymond, you guys are going to play as well. Pie chart of blame.
Can we add John Mara to the mix, too?
Sure. I'm going to make the pie chart.
I think I mean,
Rick's pie chart.
I have a hard time believing that Joe Shane and Brian Daboll, if left to their own devices, would have said, let's roll with Daniel Jones.
I need numbers.
50.
What does that mean?
You're going 50% ownership?
Oh, yeah.
50. Wow. So Ray is 50% ownership.
50% ownership.
Wow.
I'm going to go.
And then where's the other 50 lie, Ray?
Then I would split not into thirds. Daniel Jones deserves less than a third of the blame.
Less than a third?
Less than a third. So.
What do you get him, 10?
Maybe in that ballpark. And then, so what does that give you? 20-20 for Daboll and Shane?
And you're splitting that evenly.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so Shane, Daboll, 20-20, Jones, 10, ownership, 50.
Yeah, because Jones is what he is, and they knew that.
Okay, all right.
And I feel like Shane and Daboll did do their best to try to do all the other alternatives. It just didn't work out that way.
Okay. RJ?
It's almost you feel bad for Daniel Jones. A little bit.
I'm so annoyed at this point.
I know, but he shouldn't have been drafted with a 6th overall pick.
Of course not.
And then on top of that, you have because you're trying to make it work with him, you cycle through coaches, which isn't good for his development. And now you have what you think might be a good head coach, wins you a playoff game. Okay.
Now you're locked into him.
He's our option, so we're going to go 2 more years with him. And now when you try to take that next step, which I told you was going to happen, I told you this, that once we went from, okay, hey, let's fix the turnover stuff, let's get the best out of what you can do, start slow, stay healthy, which is what they did. 15 touchdowns, ran for 7. Okay, fine, good. We start getting with, can we beat Philly like that? Can we beat Dallas?
You're not beating anybody like that.
You're not beating anyone like that,
no.
Not consistently at least. So we got to take it to the next step. We can't just go 10, 11, 12 plays and consistently try to score points. We need explosive plays. We got to take shots down the field. Let's draft Jalen Hyatt. Now all of a sudden what you're doing is you're going to give him more opportunities to expose things he can't do or make mistakes.
Which is hit guys before they're open.
Anticipate throws.
Yes, he's terrible.
I'm telling you,
not good.
That Slayton play.
That was a terrible
on
throw.
the left side.
He was wide open.
Like by definition,
3 seconds before he threw him the football.
By definition, the problem with him.
Almost got him killed. All right, RJ.
So I would go.
Yeah.
Similar to Ray. I'll tweak it a little bit. John Mara, 40%.
40.
Daniel Jones, 30%.
Okay, so you're giving a lot more to Jones.
And I'm going to split up the remaining 30 with Joe Shane and Brian Daboll, each getting 15.
Okay.
Because when you're saddled with Daniel Jones, if we're to believe that's how it went down, then he just can't do it. the guy that believes he can do it is forcing him on other guys. And I'm going to listen. Shane and Daboll still deserve blame because we've seen it with Jones. We've seen it work, and it's clearly not now. But the majority goes to ownership.
All right. And how about you?
I'm going to go
pie chart of blame.
I'm going 35% ownership.
35 owner. So you go the least ownership of any of the three of them.
I'm going 35% ownership. I'm going to go 30% Jones.
All right, which is what RJ did.
So that gives me 65%.
Mm-hmm. So you got 35% remaining.
I'm going to go 20 Daboll, 15 Shane.
All right, so if you each are giving 15% to Joe Shane, how can you fire him?
Well, do you want to pick the next head coach? Or does the next head coach that you want, that you feel is a better option, not necessarily?
How about if Belichick likes Joe Shane?
Well, maybe then keep him. But I think what makes you what would make you even more attractive to a head coach is that I get to come with my guy.
And you have to look at it where the guy that we gave the most blame to doesn't give himself any of the blame, probably.
It doesn't give himself any of the blame, and there's nothing you could do about him being the owner.
Correct.
So really what I've gathered over the last odd number of years with the local football is the ownership is just not very good.
It's not good.
And that's Jets and Giants.
But I also go back to, the story that RJ told that you saw it. Now, RJ knows it probably a little bit better than us.
What story?
Well, his best friend is a diehard Buffalo Bills fan. They went through a very similar situation. Now, it wasn't the 6th overall pick. It was Tyrod Taylor. But Joe Shane came from that situation
and moved
learned under Brandon Beane, and they said, okay, great, we like the success, but there's no way this is sustainable. We need to find a quarterback. So, if that's where you came from and you saw how it worked out with Josh Allen,
right?
Would you, you get, how important it is to be honest with yourself. Yeah, hey, great. We won 9 games. We beat Minnesota. Perfect matchup for us. Then we got smashed by Philly. This is not going to be good enough. Now's the time before it's too late. Rather than lock in, let's pivot.
That's what they should have done.
And they didn't.
How proactive would that have been? You win 9 games. You win a playoff game.
RJ, it's almost
everything is
it's
perfect.
almost identical to what happened in Buffalo, no?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Tyrod gets him to the playoffs.
Who was that quarterback draft class 2 years ago?
The 2022? You mean coming off the 22 season?
Well, when the Giants had that really good year, who could they have taken?
So that would be the 2023 NFL draft then, because it's the 2022 season, right? So
after the 22 season, yes.
So that was the Stroud draft class.
But the problem is you picked what?
20.
Yeah, so how?
Could have had a nice Will Levis.
You picked 24th.
So how would you ever have gotten the quarterback?
Yeah, but I'm not even saying that, though. I'm saying, what if you even take a step back? It's not Daniel Jones.
It's a stopgap guy.
I'm not going to pay $40 million. I'm not going to lock myself into 2 years. We go with a stopgap. Maybe we stink. Maybe we
bring
don't.
in Baker Mayfield.
No, and then all of a sudden what we do is we turn around in this draft class, and it's Caleb Williams, and it's Jaden Daniels, and it's Drake May.
Yeah. Listen, that would have been very proactive.
I think that's hard.
That's also easier to say now.
But it's also probably harder here than it is in Buffalo.
I'm sure it is. All right, so everyone gives the ownership the majority of the blame. Raymond the most at 50%.
Well, you didn't give us your pie.
No, I'm not playing this game. Well, I don't want to play.
You have to.
Why do I have to play?
You can't do that.
You can do math. Let's go.
You can't do that.
I got a bunch of circles over there. Come on.
You can't come to terms with the owner that has overseen some titles is to blame here?
Because he still thinks the ownership's going to come to his funeral.
That's why I don't want to play.
It's not happening.
Because if I give them a high level of blame, I don't know that they show up for the funeral.
Yeah, but what do you believe? They have more respect for you if you actually gave your honest opinion here.
33% ownership.
Okay.
40% Jones.
Okay.
So now I got 27% left?
Yep.
10% Shane. Whatever's left is going to Daboll. What am I, 50?
17?
83, 17 to Daboll, yeah.
Okay.
Jones is a real problem.
Yeah, Jones is a real problem.
A real problem.
Yeah. Well,
and why is Jones the real problem?
What does that mean?
Why is he persisted as the problem?
You don't know that, Ray.
It's been 6 years.
I get it. It's a mistake.
It's been 6 years.
I just gave 33%
no, I
to
know.
the
But how many times? And this is not like it's Brian Daboll fighting for him because it's like he might like him, but this is not the guy that Brian Daboll drafted.
But it's not like I gave the ownership 5% blame.
I get it.
A lot of blame.
And we keep playing the McShay clip, but let's not act like
we haven't played it once.
No, on our own time.
Oh.
But we're not going to sit here and act like the whole world didn't know what Daniel Jones was the second he was drafted. Leading up to when he was drafted.
Is that not Gettleman's fault originally then?
Who hired Gettleman?
I agree with that, man. Gettleman was horrendous. So maybe I underestimated. Maybe I go 40% Mara, 33% Jones. But I think Jones is largely responsible for why this team is so bad.
Either way, it kind of clouds what you do. Because you can't change the owner.
You're right. You're in the same boat.
You're going to move off the quarterback.
It's terrible. It's a terrible place to live.
Yeah, but at least you're going to have right now you got the second pick.
Right.
You could have the first pick.
It's very possible. Maybe even likely.
It'd be just your luck that
this would be the draft class that's just not very good at quarterback. But you can stink for multiple years and hope to get Arch Manning or Arch Manning's children or whoever it happens to be. RJ?
Yes.
RJ?
Okay.
What do you mean, okay?
I'm just skipping to it. We know where this is going.
Let's go there then.
Okay.
Now.
See ya!
Touchdown! Rebound score! The you missed.
Boy, you know what makes this even tougher? And I'm not trying to...
What would you do? Just tell us what you do right now.
And do it.
Tell us what you do.
To fix the Giants?
No. What are you doing? What's the future? We give you the ultimate decision. Shane and Daboll, what happens?
Whew. I think it would come down to... See, it's tough because they're obviously going to give you a skewed view. Do you believe in one of these quarterbacks? Do I believe that they're the guy to fix the quarterback? If yes, then I keep him. Because you got to sign him for 2 more years.
What would you do? What do you believe?
As good as my options, right? If Bill's on board, then I'm going with Bill. How do you not? I don't think you're getting Ben Johnson.
Okay.
No, I don't think you're getting Ben Johnson either.
What does your list look like?
Ben Johnson going to get a job this offseason?
If he wants it.
Takes one.
Mm-hmm. But how long can you wait?
He's waiting for the money.
Years?
Well, where's he going? Where's the offense going?
The offense is going to be good for a while.
Yeah, right. So,
yeah. You know what else is tough about this 2023 draft? Is that the guys that went before Deontay Banks, like right ahead. So you had Dalton Kincaid go right after him. Here are the picks right before him. 23. Jordan Addison. 22. Zay Flowers. 21. Quentin Johnston, who up until like a couple games ago, maybe not. 20. Njibba. Then, it's tough. There's a big drop off. Anyways.
Did you see the clip going around of Njibba when they asked him about Shane Waldron?
No.
He's like, is this live?
What's his relationship with Shane Waldron?
Waldron was in Seattle.
Okay.
And everyone thinks Waldron just
stinks.
Terrible.
Stinks.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Jackson Smith Njibba.
But that okay, right? Perfect example. Some teams are just not equipped to draft and develop quarterbacks.
Jackson Smith Njibba.
Every single person. How many people do you think, if you polled the amount of people, like just 1,000 people,
right,
that knew football, said the second you drafted, like we're going to draft Caleb Williams, that you should keep Eberflus with Shane Waldron? Would have said
that new football?
That's a good idea.
25.
Everyone's like, this makes
no sense.
Makes no sense.
I think it was his haircut. Changed everything.
His new haircut?
Yeah. Knicks beat the Sixers.
All right, we're out of time.
Yeah, it's over.
Great job. You did really well,
So if you missed it, the Knicks beat the Sixers on a strange blue court. And that's it.
No, come on. You got to have more.
Only a little bit. Joel Embiid came back. Sixers thought that would jumpstart their season. So much for that. Looked like a guy that hadn't played in some time. He had 13 points in 26 minutes. Sixers fall to 2-8.
Let's go Knicks chance again. Late stages of the game.
Knicks got contributions
of
from
course.
all
we
over.
own them.
OG had a night. 24 points. Cat, 21 and 13. He looked good. Josh Hart, triple-double. Nice to see Jalen Brunson, who left the court for a minute after he landed
Tibbs
on
had a nice challenge, too.
Yeah, he did.
It was a big-time challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And Knicks get back on track. That's what a win on a strange blue court. Eric Spoelstra did not have a good night. He called timeout when the Miami Heat didn't have any. Led to a technical foul, and they lost to the Pistons.
I was just teaching Alex last night about the Chris Webber timeout in the 93 championship game. Yeah.
Father-son bonding.
I was asking about the Fab Fives. Like, tell me about these Fab Five.
Ray pointed this out to me. Ray, who was there last night to watch this?
Jalen Rose.
Oh.
We've come full circle.
Watch it again.
You should see his face when Spoelstra called the timeout.
Jose Alvarado, the Pels, hamstring injury, going to miss 6 weeks. Men's college hoops, busy night. Kansas, number 1 team in the country. They beat Michigan State 77-69. Dave stayed up way too late to watch Kentucky.
Correct.
Marquee win for Mark Pope, 19th ranked Kentucky. They beat number 6 Duke, 77-72. Cooper Flagg, big night, 26-12 in the loss. Jets are bringing back center Connor McGovern. They claim him from the Saints.
How many Connor McGoverns are there? Feels like there's
Two.
definitely
Well, I
more
think
than
this
one.
McGovern, isn't this the McGovern that has the potato farm?
Yeah, this is
This
guys
was
worth
the-
like half
the-
a
the-
million
the
dollars.
The one that played for the Jets is the one.
Yeah,
who
this was their starting center.
Yeah, he's worth
until
like $500 million.
2022. Yep. Diamador Lenore, Niners corner. They nailed down a new extension, 5 years, $92 million. Steelers will not have Alex Highsmith for their showdown with the Ravens. Chiefs get Isaiah Pacheco and Charles Omenihu back at practice. The Winnipeg Jets, fastest team to 15 wins in NHL history. They beat the Rangers.
No team has ever been 15-1, huh?
Nope.
Wow.
6-3 at the Garden. Connor McDavid is 1 point shy of 1,000 for his career. Goal, 3 assists for the Oilers, who recover. So he had a point in every single goal. 4-3 in overtime against the Isles. Jacob Markstrom, 34 saves. Devils ended the Panthers' 7-game win streak 4-1. Silver Slugger
It was
Awards.
a good fight in that game, too.
Devils are a good team.
See that fight?
Yeah.
No.
I saw the
Just
Really?
Yes, I saw the video in the room that the Devils put out after everyone congratulating him. Silver Slugger Awards go out. Winners locally, Aaron Judge in the AL in the outfield, and Lindor of the Mets at shortstop. Angels and former Met Travis d'Arnaud, 2 years, $12 million deal. And the Rays, Dave, I know stadium work is your interest.
No. You guys mocked me when I said I had concern that it wouldn't
Yeah.
be ready for
I
the
think it's
start.
going to cost $55 million.
$55 million.
Do you remember that?
Can't be ready until 2026.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they'll play in Dave's luscious backyard.
When is the new stadium going to be ready, though? I guess not by
not in
26.
time for this
No.
season. No.
So there's a problem.
They should
That's a
really get to
predicament.
work.
Yeah.
Where do you think they're going to play?
I think they're going to play at
Steinbrenner Field?
Which is going to be great.
They're going to be like, wow, what an upgrade.
That's
That
like
is
a
that is a
10,000
beautiful-
seat stadium, though.
What are you going to do?
I guess there's nothing you can do.
How
roof is
far-
gonna blow off?
How far off is that number? How many do they need? Let's be honest.
Oh.
You're nasty,
Wow.
huh?
He's not wrong.
Just be
I think
He's
I
also
think-
not wrong.
I think having at least being able to get up to 25,000 would be a nice thing to be able to do.
I went to a game there. I said 7th row. They asked me if I wanted to play in the game in the ninth.
I mean, the A's are playing. In Sacramento. I mean,
Right? Did you accept that offer?
No, I wasn't stretched out.
No.
Proper notification, I would have.
Okay. All right. You done?
That's it.
That was very good. 1-800-919-3776. More Giants, some Jets, little Knicks. 1-800-919-3776. DNR with you, 880 ESPN.